Welcome back to Atlantic City and the Harrah's Resort Casino, where I'm delighted to be joined by Karl Boyes as always, with another day of US Open pool action in the bag. Karl, bit of a different day. We spoke about it yesterday on day one. Barry Hearn, the big man himself, and Andy Goldstein, US Open debuts, didn't quite go to plan. But before we get into it, Karl, how did it go for you?
As in my day?
As your day, yeah.
Yeah,
before we get into it.
Yeah, listen, it's been good. You know, done 3 matches. Watched
Didn't
a lot
skive
of
as
pool.
much today, no?
Didn't skive as much today.
Scotty Frost was on you for that, wasn't he, yesterday?
Been out there a little bit, getting up close to some of the tables, you know, sweating some of the action. Even had a game of pool with you.
Let's not talk about that.
Dream team.
I mean, if Great Britain need a D or an E team, I think maybe I might fancy it. Just don't leave me a straight 9. I mean, I know the guys haven't seen it, but yeah. 2 rail kicks, that's my tip.
No, we had a bit of fun in the vendors section.
That was great out there, wasn't it? Good vibes.
Brilliant,
Would you recommend people, if they've never been, to come check out? We've obviously got the pool here, but you know, there's a bit more in action at the US Open.
Without a doubt, you know, out there you've got a lot of vendors. There's a few tables in there where you can have a knock and test the cues.
Yep.
Obviously, moving forward, we'll try and improve that at the events, because obviously it's like having a fan zone or something, and maybe get some of the pros out there at certain times.
Yeah.
I know you don't want to lose some of the crowd in here, so it has to be thought about a bit better. But
you got some ideas that you want to share with Emily? Maybe I know you go to a lot of pool, not pool events, but you go to a lot of sports events in Blackpool, don't you? You know, you've got some ideas, seen some things, haven't you?
Yeah, the only problem is it usually involves drinking, so I don't like that. No,
nothing wrong with that, is there?
No, I'm only joking. Yeah, I mean, obviously, listen. Obviously, we're in this arena. Everything's obviously, you know, really nice. You know, it's a fantastic arena and all that. But, you know, when the fans come here, it's like they sit there, watch pool all day and sort of just go.
Yeah.
It'd be good if we could get some more interaction, because obviously we were playing a game of doubles out there and people just navigate around the table.
Got a bit of a crowd, didn't we?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
I'm not used to that. Jesus, I'm not used to that.
Yeah, so, you know, that's obviously something for the future. But, you know, all in all, day 2, still a little bit quiet. If we're going to, you know, the talking points of the day are obviously our 2 celebrity, pool players, aren't they?
Let's get into that right now then, whilst we're talking about it. So we had Andy Goldstein there's a TV tables right behind you guys as you're looking at this, taking on Ralph Souquet. You were part of the TalkSport Glove off. Might I say, I thought that was fantastic. Talk to me a little bit about that, because I know you got a funny story from that.
Yeah, it was funny. You know, obviously, you know, the fact that, listen, people might not know who Andy Goldstein is watching this. Obviously, some people will, but, you know, he's a he's a broadcasting legend from England. He's done so much stuff. You know, he's actually been the presenter for the Moscone Cup.
Yeah, a couple of years,
He's done a lot of snooker. He's involved with TalkSport now, radio. He knows a lot of famous people. And obviously, I don't know if you can see it, actually, just sort of over that way, we've got the backdrop, and he's been doing a live TalkSport.
Yeah, I've noticed that.
So I actually went over about an hour ago. Yeah, it's probably about an hour and a half ago, and he was doing it live, and I seen it was Jason Cundy.
Okay.
And he had the headset on there, and they were doing a live.
That's cool.
Yeah, they were doing
like a live link down.
Yeah, and it was on YouTube. So Andy
we'll have to check that out then.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, and they were ribbing him. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, and you know, Andy's like, he takes it in good spirit.
Yeah, of course.
You know, he's a good lad.
He set himself up for it, but he knew exactly what he was doing, wasn't he?
But you know, like, he's not the worst player. He's better than your average person.
Totally agree.
At the game of the pool, you know,
totally agree.
He can hold the cue, he can pot the odd ball, but you know, when you play Ralph Souquet, it doesn't matter whether you're Andy Goldstein or Joshua Filler. That bloke, he's not going to give you a single inch, and he didn't.
No.
And obviously, it was 9-0, but his second match, he was 3-0 up.
Honestly, did you get to see any of it? Because I went over. He was 3-0 up. He was gliding round the table. The confidence was oozing out of him. He's overdrawn on a shot. I think it was a tricky 7 ball. That, you know, the arm went a little bit loose, lost position. I think, is it John Francisco was his name?
Yeah, that
I think was his name, the American. Got back in, ground Andy down. You know, 3-0 quickly became 3-all. I think he then put another 3-pack together, 6-3, and unfortunately the rest was history. But I spoke to Andy afterwards, and it was great. You know, he came off and he says, I'm pissed off that I've lost. You know, and I think that says a lot about, you know, his mindset, what he thought about himself, the expectations he set himself. And even though he was annoyed that he lost, he absolutely loved it. I mean, you got to speak to him as well, Karl. What did he say?
Yeah, well, I was in comms when he was playing over there. I can't remember who was on this table, to be fair, but we kept flicking to his match. Obviously, he put a couple of balls near the end, and 1-0, 2-0, 3-0. You're thinking, oh, he's going to win a match here. Happy days, he's going to be buzzing. The next thing, we're watching the scoreboard, as you said. Francisco ends up winning 8 racks on the spin and knocks him out. But
That's the game of Nineball, isn't it?
Yeah, we were both there. We were speaking to him and actually Barry Hearn at the same time. And obviously, you know, he knows if he draws a certain level of player, he's massively up against it.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of players in this event that are like Andy. You know, they wanted to play in the US Open, they want to experience the week. That's the beauty of what Nineball pool is. It's so versatile. You know, you could have a 16, 17-year-old kid playing it and a 75-year-old man. That's the beauty of it.
Really was the beauty of the sport. And I think both Andy and Barry absolutely loved it, didn't they? You know, Andy, I think, is going to be talking about this on TalkSport for weeks and months to come, isn't he? And he was even floating the idea of doing some qualifiers that TalkSport could host, you know, for the UK Open. He actually said to me, a bit of an exclusive here, that he really, really wants to play in the UK Open next year. Well,
the thing is, you know, some people might be thinking, oh, they're getting a lot of limelight, he's on the main table. Listen, we're playing Ralph Souquet, who's a former US Open champ, so that match deserves to be on
100%.
On any TV table. But what you've got to realise is the eyes that he can bring to the sport of pool, that he's still way down here and we're trying to get it up here.
Particularly in the UK, might we add. You know, whilst we know the sport is big in some countries, in the UK, other than the Moscone Cup, you know, it's a niche sport, isn't it? So having Andy and an organisation like TalkSport behind this, it's great. It's only great for the sport, especially in the UK.
Well, TalkSport YouTube channel has 1.5 million subscribers.
Says all we need to know, doesn't it?
So the videos are going on there. He's doing live links. You can see he does love Q Sports. We knew this before he played in the US Open. You know, he's a big snooker fan. He's played some English 8-ball. Now he's playing 9-ball. He's got his old carbon shaft. Keep trying to get him to wear a glove, but he's having none of that. But one
too old school for that, isn't he?
He did have the under top on.
I noticed that, the 9-ball underlayer.
Yeah, listen, he looked the part. He didn't really play the part, but he can hold a cue.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, getting some more events. Why not?
Method to the madness in the promotion, you might say.
Without doubt.
We spoke about Andy Goldstein. Let's talk about the big main man himself, Barry Hearn, OBE, taking on Conrad Eustachian on the streaming table.
Madness.
We were just all praying, pinch a rack, Barry, please pinch a rack.
Yeah, well, let me
talk to me about it. Go on.
I want to talk to you about the start match. I got clean stitched up and thrown in at the deep end to announce.
I did play a part in this.
Barry Hearn. It's like, where's my shite northern
You're a man
voice?
of many talents, I thought.
I know,
we'll get Karl on MC duties.
Yeah, I know, Anyway, Jake helped me with the script, so we sort of did it. Although I got stitched off one of the freaking directors.
Yeah.
He said, go. So I start doing this big speech, and then he's going, no.
That was the awkward moment when you kind of stop mid-sentence, and I'm just like, keep going.
Yeah, I can't just stop. Can it come out the freaking tannoy? So that was a balls up. But listen, the main thing is he got his little intro, he got his song on.
Yeah, and Kenny Rogers, the gambler.
Yeah, and he felt that little walk.
Did you see him singing along to it when he was
practicing? No, because I was stuck over in corner.
Well, it was on YouTube. You can check it out. It was pretty cool. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, but obviously, you know, he played the match. Obviously, Conrad's a very talented player, super nice guy, the Polish player. You know, he's won quite a lot of events in Europe. He's still yet to set this stage alive, but obviously Bazza's going to be up against it.
He's not someone you'd be shocked to see in the last 16 of an Open event, is he, though?
Not at all. No. Definitely, you know, not at all. It might even happen here, might it? But, you know, Bazza had that long 2-9 combo. Me and you did the pre-show before the Moscone Cup, and I actually said I think Barry's got more chance of winning a rack than Goldstein. Yeah. Just because I know Souquet's a freaking monster. Do you know what I mean?
Literally.
Yeah, and Conrad's a bit loose. He's a very nice guy because he's playing Barry.
Yeah.
He's likely to go for a few more silly shots.
Yeah.
But Bazza knocked a good combo into
the 2-9 was awesome, and might I add, we've got the reaction. It's on our Instagram. You can check it out. He gave it absolute beans. Yeah, to those of you that aren't in England, beans just means going mental. He absolutely gave it some. Like, I'm talking Moscone Cup vibes, and we had a camera crew here catching it. I thought we might have missed it. I panicked. Luckily,
Netflix.
Something like that.
Not allowed to say that.
Not allowed to say that.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Big news coming. But amazing. The footage was unbelievable. I showed Baz after the match, and he loved it. He absolutely loved it.
He was just. There's a couple of things, you know. Andy Goldstein's a bit of a snooker, not snob, but he's involved with snooker. His friends.
Emily can come in. She's coming in a second. Emily Fraser's decided to join us.
Emily's looking so glam today.
She's airing me on WhatsApp, but you know, she works on her own schedule now, not mine anymore.
That's the best I've ever seen her look.
I think she's coming over.
10 out of 10 today. Might see she wants a drink tonight.
You know, I'm not editing this. This is going out as it is.
Sorry, it's still actually on. I said,
we're fake live, so we're not editing this, okay?
I said, it's the best I've ever seen Emily look today. She looks a 10 out of 10. I might ask her out for a drink tonight. No, stay on.
Sorry,
No, we were
we've
just
only got
talking
2
about-
microphones as well because
Yeah.
Carl's done his beans on coffee, so we're about to cut back. So if you two can share a microphone, but we can just carry on talking.
We were just
talking about Barry and his match
yes.
against Conrad.
Oh,
And just how amazing it was to see him with the 2-9 combo. Talk to me, because you were hanging on to
Sorry, I
every
feel
single
awkward
shot.
holding that.
You were hanging on to every single shot that Barry was playing out
Yeah.
there, weren't you? You were willing him on as much as if you were out there yourself.
I was literally like, I really like Conrad as well, so I was
He's a
finding it
great
really
guy.
difficult. And I knew he wasn't going to make like Rob Hart's basically on the hill, I think.
Okay, thanks for the update. We said to the viewers at home, we have got a big screen up here so we can see what's going on.
He might have just
7-all. We will
One.
update you all on socials, and it is on WNT Live Scores, like we said yesterday, when Earl's match was Hill.
But yeah, it
talk
was
to me about Barry's
fantastic.
match.
And yeah, like I said, I knew that Conrad weren't going to make silly mistakes or anything like that.
Of course.
I was just praying that there was going to just be an opportunity and Barry was going to get a rack.
Yeah.
That's all I wanted was a rack. And when he made that too, it was actually...
Were you there when he made it?
Yeah, and it was
Nice.
actually Rob Hart was talking to me, and I didn't want to be rude, and he's chatting to me, and then I turned and I just saw the 9 go in, and he was like, "Oh shit, Emily, I'm so sorry, I took you off there," and I was like, "It's okay."
Yeah.
Sort of thing. But it was like I think he's just won.
I think he has, yeah.
Yeah.
Love
I'm gonna
that.
have to literally sprint
Yeah,
and
yeah,
give him a
yeah,
hug.
no worries.
Because he's been waiting for an opportunity like that.
He
That's-
comes to all of our
he
events
comes
as well,
to all
doesn't
of our
he?
events. This is what it's all about. Like I was just talking to Landon and his parents.
Yep.
Landon's 19. He played in the SVB Junior Open last year. Just chatting to his parents, and I'm like, right, do you want to become a professional pool player?
Nice.
And they're like, yeah, he wants to join
Love
the tour. Okay.
Sam Henderson sort of vibes, like same sort of
Yes.
story.
And they travel together, sort
Yeah.
of thing. And he turned up for practice on Sunday. I looked at him and I was like, Landon, I recognise you. He's like, yeah, I played in the SVB. And he's like, I'm not playing this event before. I won a qualifier. And I was like, oh my God, this is music to my ears.
Yep.
I was like, do you know any, like, what's the crack? Can you practice with anyone? Do you want me to sort you out practice? He was like, no, I know Sam. I'll go over there. So I was like helping him over. And I put him out on the TV table today. He'd come out here like he'd played on it before. And that's brilliant because we're trying to look for the future like Josh Filler and the
Yeah,
Team USA.
definitely.
That's the future of the Moscone Cup. And so, listen, I've had a fucking great
Love
day.
that. Carl, what do you think about the Junior Opens quickly? I know we do a lot of coverage on socials about it, but we don't tend to talk about it that much. But it seems like a really established part of the Open events now, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think we mentioned at the European, maybe it'd be cool to sort of start building a bit of a ranking.
Yeah, you did float
You know,
that,
to
didn't
get the
you?
juniors in, just have the
Yeah.
ranking, because obviously, what's the kid called? Max Benko.
Max Benko,
He's
cleaning
won
up
three
on the junior
Yeah, he's won
scene.
3 events, so
Yeah.
you could argue that he's obviously the best junior
Yep.
on the tour, sort of thing.
And he's
But
still only 14,
Yeah.
you know, and you can be under 17 playing in
14,
that.
wow.
So,
Yeah,
but
so
it's about
obviously-
creating pathways, isn't it? And I think that's the great thing about these Junior Opens, isn't it?
Yeah, and I know like maybe a lot of people online are probably thinking, oh, why is Barry Hearn playing on TV against Barry Heather? No, I know that, but then you could say the same about
PR
Landon.
stunts are there for a reason, you know. That's
He's
like,
also the president of the company, and he is underwriting, and he believes in this tour.
Yeah.
He is the reason why the Moscone Cup has just done 30-year anniversary.
Yep.
He is the reason why this tour exists, because he believes in something, and without his belief,
Yep.
we wouldn't all be here like today
Yeah.
in this arena. So I'm
and
sorry.
it rubs off on all of us as well,
It
doesn't
was-
it? His passion, you know, it
It
drips
was
down
his
to all of us.
dream. And
Yeah.
the thing is, what's actually enlightened me is that his dream today is actually what half the people in this arena competing feel the same way. And that gives me even more passion and even more excitement
Yeah.
for it.
One thing I will say about Barry,
That's
you
my
know,
reason, that.
no, that's great. I think one thing that we will say about Barry, he come off, we did a fantastic interview of him talking after his match against Conrad, and all the comments online were like, that is the spirit that you want in a pool player. People were saying these are what APA players should look like. This is the spirit. He embodies what an amateur player should be aspiring to do, to try and qualify and play in these Opens. I know he didn't qualify, but he's the president of the company.
He
Give him
didn't
a break.
qualify, but before Emily started going on a mad one there, what I was going to say is obviously Landon was thrown out in there.
Yep.
The young 19-year-old. America are desperate for talented
Yep.
players. I've never seen. I know he was here last year, but
Yep.
you probably don't see enough of the juniors unless they get to the final. I thought he played great, but I know Barry Hearn was out here, but Barry Heatherton,
I was
who
going
he
to talk
played,
about that.
he just beat Shane Wolford.
Knocked
He's
out
knocked
Shane
Shane
Wolford.
Wolford out. So
Unbelievable.
I mean, you're talking about opportunities. What about that guy?
Yeah.
He said he's playing. I spoke to him afterwards, Shane Wolford, and he's saying he was like, I play the ranking events. I'm playing this. I want to bring a tournament to Canada. I mean,
Barry Hetherington was saying this.
yeah, but this is what like these tournaments are about. There's also a chap out here who played Mario He. I know he lost.
Yep.
He was 78 years of age.
Wow.
And you've got the likes of Barry Hearn here, and then you've got the likes of Sam Henderson. You've got
Mm-hmm.
Riku, who's 16. You've got Landon, who's 19. I mean, look at how many different ages
Carl mentioned it
there are.
earlier, the spectrum in terms of age of people that can play in these events is unbelievable, isn't it?
We put her on the TikTok table
Yep.
earlier, and she came off, and I said, "Listen, how you feeling?" And she was like, "Look, it weren't the outcome, but wow, that table plays fast. I feel different." She goes, "I feel like I'm going to be so much better in my next game."
Yeah.
Oh, I mean,
it's great, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, listen, 78 years of age, I didn't know. Barry, you're a young man in the sport, don't worry about
He's
it.
a young buck, isn't he,
we're
Arbaz?
doing the seniors event next tomorrow because Barry's bored and he wants something to do.
But Barry, you obviously speak to him very close to Barry. What's his feedback being on this
He
week?
said he's had an unbelievable time.
Yeah.
If anything, if anyone's like annoyed that he's been playing on the TV table, all I can say is him being in this arena has enlightened so much more passion into him that even if that was possible.
Yeah.
And he's going to listen.
Bigger and better things for the World Nineball Tour, is that what you're saying?
There is more things coming, and like we've been in the office chatting.
Love that.
So all I'm going to say is there's some exciting stuff coming.
That's really cool.
We went for a coffee before, Jake. We weren't Skyving, it was a business meeting. And on the way down...
Dobbed me into the boss on camera, I love that.
No, but obviously they've both been knocked out. And I said to Jake, listen, the fact that they've played and they've tasted what it's like to sit in a chair, screw the cue together, go through the motions, it's probably going to give them, a little bit more respect for the sport of Nineball.
100%.
Over the years, a lot of people think it's a bit of a joke game because of the pocket, because they don't know, they're not educated enough about the sport.
Until you're out there, like you said, it takes a lot for them to actually come out there and do it, experience it. They've done it, and like you said,
I'm just going to go.
you're going to go and
Rob Hart.
You come back when you're done.
Guys,
we'll carry on talking.
Just carry on.
Yeah,
All
no
right,
worries.
nice to speak to you.
Right,
Thanks.
Back to a
Thanks for
two-man show
dropping
again.
by.
Cheers, But
Phew,
yeah,
got away with that one.
I mean, like you said, we had that chat earlier. The respect that they're going to have now for the sport, for these events, and Barry's like blown away by the arena. And I think sometimes we work on these events all year round. You do take it for granted, don't you? Because this is now the bar that is set, week in, week out with the events that Matchroom are putting on.
Yeah, and let's not be silly. I know we're just going back a little bit in time here, but the World Nineball Championships in Saudi Arabia.
That was mind-blowing, wasn't it?
Well, the arena that they set up there, and even where we did prez on that hexagon in the middle of the room, everything was just phenomenal. But, this is, you come in here and you think, well, it's just another arena, there's just tables, but you've got all this blue and red writing. We've got two big American flags. You can see the one obviously
I love the
just
American flags.
Us.
I think it's a great touch, isn't it?
Well, it's all lit up, and you walk in here and you just know it's the US Open.
Yeah.
It's just, it's been a great day, and obviously it's been great to... Listen, it's qualification round
Exactly.
still. Tomorrow for me, Judgment Day, is where shit really gets real.
It's one of my favourite days.
It's the best day because the first 2 days we see a lot of players who we may never have seen. You see all levels of play, and it's not all about just putting Joshua, Phil, Fed or Gorst on here. Give other people a chance, like young Landon.
100%.
Didn't win, played great. Barry Hetherington, that's it, is it? I can't say his surname. Obviously, he beat Barry, then goes on the outside tables and knocks Wolford down.
I know, chasing down a Mosconi Cup spot is just
he's
unbelievable.
He's not a young pup, is he?
No.
He must be.
I mean, he's got to be in his 60s.
He's late 50s, early 60s.
Yeah,
easy. But he actually, do you know what?
He'll hill as well.
Mate, honestly, he could actually play that guy.
I know.
He walked past before, I said, "Oh, well done, mate." So he's had his opportunities. It's not, like I say, it's not all about the superstar. Superstars will be the end of the week.
Yeah, of course, that's what you expect. But those stories are what make events like the US Open so special. Your Barry Hetherington's coming through. I've had a quick look. I don't know tons and tons of matches off the top of my head. But like you said, Judgment Day for qualification for the last 64 is where it gets exciting.
Yep.
I've seen one card. I don't know if you've seen this.
Go ahead.
Petri Mäkinen versus Mika Immonen.
Oh.
Now, for the fans that might not know at home, they won the World Cup of Pool in 2012 playing for Finland. They will be going at it. The loser goes home.
Yep, that is.
And obviously Mika's got that great story. Unfortunately, he had the sad news last year that he was diagnosed with cancer. Great to see Mika back. Iceman, he's a legend of the game.
Yep.
Let's hope that he has a great week. But I mean, that's going to be a huge match, isn't it?
Yeah, it's massive, and we're getting to the stage where we've got all winners qualification matches coming tomorrow. We've got losers round 3. Is there a losers round 4?
Yeah, and then losers qualification and winners qualification.
Yeah, so
3 rounds.
So obviously it's a big day. It's what we call Judgment Day, and obviously come the end of play tomorrow night, qualification round is over, and we're into the last 64.
Do you feel like the event kind of hits into a different phase? I know it literally is
100%.
a different phase in terms of knockout, but do you think the pressure goes up a notch, the atmosphere changes in the arena, the players' demeanour's a little bit different as well?
Yeah, because what you'll find tomorrow is you'll have table over here, that's 8-all, I want to go and watch it. This one's 8-7, we'll navigate over there. There'll be a lot more closer matches tomorrow.
You start to see the celebrations as well, don't you? Because the pressure builds, people know there's a lot on the line, isn't there?
Yeah.
It's not every day you get to compete for this sort of trophy, is it? What are you thinking?
Thought something. We're talking about Petra and Mika. What about our very own pundit, Jeremy Jones?
Oh my
He's
God.
playing Thorsten Ullman.
That is going to be an unbelievable match.
Forgot about that guy. Wow.
JJ, I mean, what a week. I've seen him today. The smile's not left his face.
Mate,
he is
he feels
absolutely
21.
buzzing.
I said to him, I said, I bet your phone blew up on that. He says, bro, he said, everyone's texting me. I said, you're trying to get a Mosconi spot now, aren't you? He says, well, I can't get any ranking points. Gutted.
Of course, yeah. Will you be cheering him on?
100%,
yeah.
Mate. I was out the com box watching. Listen, me and Jeremy get on like that.
Yeah.
We're really tight.
Such a good guy, isn't he?
Yeah, obviously we work together. He had a certain opinion about me, like most Americans, because they don't get my sense of
Until
humour.
they finally meet you.
No, but he loves me. Do you know what I mean? He absolutely loves me. And
his name's on this trophy.
Yeah, wanker. But you know, listen. You know, when he knocked that finish in, I was so sort of proud and happy for him because it was a tough finish.
Yeah.
And it's very easy to play a poor positional shot or dog a ball. You got your camera attackers there with Scott Froster's got his phone sideways. I'm like, God, he must be bricking himself.
Yeah,
here.
exactly.
But do you know what? If you've never been to a pool tournament or you've never played in a pool tournament, when that happens, it is bloody scary.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
And Thorsten Homan, you know, an absolute legend of the game as well. Do you think he will approach that game differently to the Tyler one? Or do you think there'll be more pressure, less pressure for JJ? You think you'll be just free-arming it because, you know, he's like, well, I've got this far. I wasn't playing a couple of days ago.
No, do you know what, Jake? The break's tough. No one breaks like the old days where wing ball flies in and you might have a match that's, you know, 9-7, 16 racks, 13 break and runs. It doesn't happen anymore.
Yep.
You get more pool, so Jeremy Jones will know that. He's a clever player. He's got so much knowledge. I think he'll give Thorsten a run for his money.
Yeah. And obviously tomorrow, like you said, Judgment Day, we'll probably start to see some of the heavy hitters back out on the TV table, Karl.
Yes.
It's been great the first 2 days,
Class.
seeing a few different names, few different faces, but it's great to see the big dogs. Anyone in particular you're looking forward to seeing out here on either this table or the 2 streaming tables out back?
Yeah, I'm interested to see. I'd like to see Joshua Filler because I believe he's been struggling with his game a little bit. You know, I'm one of his biggest fans, just the way he plays the game. I'd like to see how he's, you know, getting on this event.
Yep.
Shane Van Bowen in Fed August, the usual suspects.
Yeah.
But listen, Judgment Day, it's going to go off.
They've kind of just gone about their business quietly, haven't they? Because we've had a few different faces, but, you know, the big hitters, you expect them to deliver, get to the business end. The last 16, that's like the third and final stage of these big events, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
You know, qualification for the last 64 is the main priority,
Yep.
but then it's a different stage at the last 16, isn't it, Karl?
Yeah, we'll have the usual suspects. We might have a few of the chasing packs. Hopefully we've got somebody that's never been there before.
I know, yeah. And at the end of this, we obviously find out new names for the Reyes Cup and the Mosconi Cup. So there's another element of pressure there for those guys, Karl. What do you think?
Yeah, there's a lot on the line, mate. You know, obviously Nineball's it's growing fast.
Love that.
Do you know what I mean?
Well, I think we've been talking long enough. Emily's papping us in the background, getting some candid photos.
Before we go,
Yeah.
have you hit 1 million yet
1 million.
on Facebook?
998.
Oh, you're close.
So-
Come on, follow.
If you do follow us, we should hopefully hit 1 million followers on Facebook this week.
Yeah, baby.
I'll put a little graphic together. We'll whip up something nice. That'll be quite special. But when are we back on air? 10 a.m. tomorrow, Karl?
10 a.m. We're back.
Matchroom
Judgment Day.
Pool YouTube, Matchroom Multisport YouTube. You know the deal. DAZN in the US. Head to Matchroom Pool for the website for all the broadcast details. We will see you tomorrow for Judgment Day.